And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where today we are going to give you our honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And that's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. She is on camera. Y'all say what's up to her.
I am on camera. I thought I was off camera. I'm looking at a whole other tab. What's poppin', y'all? Like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the channel, and happy Monday is over. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Shout out to you too, Kevin Reynolds, my regular secretary of the Watch Your Mouth Reviews. He makes sure I got all the good tea. Shout out to my thug and cousin, Miss Nia Green, in the building, y'all. Yes, y'all. We got a lot of reading to do. Naya, are you checked in? Are you good? Yes, no day. Please be safe. Anybody who's experiencing the extreme weather, please be safe. Please be careful. Please do not hurt yourself. We need you to come back alive and whole and well and healthy. Yes, please. But yes, Kevin Reynolds, you ready to read people today? Are we ready for you? So we do have some updates for you guys before we get into this live. Me and Mrs. Best, if you guys did not see my community tabs, I did post on there that we are starting a collaborative channel with she and I both, where we're going to be giving you guys a glimpse into our personal versus recap and doing this show. We're going to give you kind of glimpses into our personal lives, vlogging, telling you stories. We're hoping to launch it very, very soon. We're going to do a lot of different things that just shows you more of our personalities versus us recapping shows. I think it's going to be a fun show. I think it's going to be a good channel, good launch. So if you guys did not see it in my community tab, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you let us know that you are there, that you did it. That way we can celebrate you. So, you know, overall, we can say y'all were the first when we got this going. So yes, we are excited to have that. I also made it to 300 subscribers. I did post that on my community post as well. Y'all, I am getting there. This is a hard thing to build and to launch and to do if you don't have the consistency to do it. Me and Mrs. Best both have jobs. We both work. Mrs. Best is in school. I'm getting ready to take on another business venture, so I'm going to be busy as hell. So yes, this is not easy for us. So we devote a lot of time to make sure this happens and try to collaborate with our schedules as efficiently as possible, being an hour difference from each other. So yes, it is hard, but we make it work though. That's why I love my best friend. So let's go ahead and get started with this mess, because let me tell y'all something. A few of these heifers is not safe. I'm going to be honest with y'all. So the show opens up with Giselle taking on the range, that they're no longer staying in that Colorado Airbnb with the no running water. Giselle's going to get them different accommodations and it's going to take over the whole trip. Giselle wants them to go to their accommodations and then in the morning, which is their last day, have brunch and then pretty much, you know, leaving. Angel said, no, that's not what you're going to do. I have another trip, another plan for tomorrow. In the morning, we're going to go flag fishing. I have all of this. I have a nice lunch prepared for us. And the ladies were all like, okay, but which do we go to? Like, do we go to Giselle's or do we go to Angel's? Like, what do? We don't know. So Wendy put it in the perspective, is there a way for y'all to have this coexist where we can do Giselle's brunch and Angel's flag fishing day? And Giselle said, okay, well then Angel, can you stay at the hotel with us? And in her confessional, Giselle was being messy, talking about, oh, well, she probably got to check with Bobby. You know, I'm tired of hearing Bobby saying, Bobby this, Bobby. I was like, Giselle, you wish you had a Bobby to say that you can check in with and everything. You wish you had that, Giselle. So I don't want to hear it. Yeah, she got to check in with Bobby. I don't understand what the big deal is. That's her husband. She got small kids that she's still breastfeeding. So, yes. Oh, I'm sorry that it kicked you out. It wasn't supposed to. StreamYard, what y'all doing?
It wasn't posted by comment. Then I got kicked out. I don't know.
Oh, you guys, this is our link to the Watch Your Best. That's what we're calling the channel. So this is the link for that. Thank you for posting that. I appreciate it. On another note, Atlanta got scammed. No snow yet. It is incredibly cold. The weather is disrespectful. Oh, we'll still be safe. NPA, we got a foot of this mess. Oh, please be safe. Please be safe, you guys. So, Mrs. Best, I got
to Florida or California. I'll sponsor y'all. I ain't got no money, but I'll hang out with you if you come here.
Nice. Said Giselle ain't got nothing but a bob for these men. Shady ass, miserable old bird. I agree. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Giselle taking over the trip and everything? Like, did you feel a way about her taking over, or how did you feel about that?
It was rude, but in this situation, I don't mind it. If I don't have running water, I think the first thing I would do is find us different accommodations. I'm surprised it took as long as they did. So since they did give the house a try before finding a different one, fine. But we can't even say everyone's so quick to give her credit for taking over the trip. But how the fuck can you take over something when you're only leaving the day before you leave?
Right.
The trip is over. She didn't take over anything. She just got them a room for their last night.
True
And
that.
let's
True
keep
that.
it a buck. Giselle was not paying for the Four Seasons for these women for multiple nights. But okay, I'll digress.
So, overall, the ladies go into, leave Aspen to go back to Denver. And as they're getting into their vehicles on their way to the Four Seasons, not Giselle, and Stacy's car, we have Angel, Tia, Kay, and someone else was in that car. I can't remember who. And Angel was all like, "Yeah, I don't like fish." And Whitney's like, "Angel, why are we this much into this relationship and we don't know that you like fish?" And I thought that was a weird thing. And I get Angel maybe was trying to do an icebreaker with the ladies on the drive there, but I felt like, Angel, just give up, sweetie. They are not going to give in. They're done with you at this point. So the ladies make it to the Four Seasons, and as they're all getting out, Angel's in the back of that car, knocked out. Like when I said Angel was, they said Angel, Angel, wake up. Angel didn't know where she was. So they go to the executive suite, which is AKA Giselle's room. Of course, she's gonna get the executive suite. I said, production, y'all ain't shit. She could have got a regular room just like everybody else. But they showed, Giselle shows the room, say, "This is how you do it. This is what it is. Look at this. Bah, TV, bah, fireplace, bah, views. Angel could never." And I was looking at Giselle like, see, this is why people have such an issue with you, because you didn't have to do all of that. So the ladies are having dinner. They're talking about what else they want to do, and everybody is really tired. But Ashley and Jazzy got their second win. They decide they're going to go to the Honking Top Bar, which is Angel's original idea. Now that she knows that they're staying at the Four Seasons, and everyone's like, "We too tired." So only, I guess, Ashley and um Jazzy went because nobody else. Angel never came back, and we get to the next day, we realize that Tia, Angel, and Kay's room is empty. They didn't come back, so we then go to Giselle, and Giselle said that she had texted them asking them if they were coming back, and they said, "No, we're too tired. We're just going to stay the night here." And the ladies were like, "Well, don't we have like this event that Angel planned? Like, why is she not here? Like, why is she not here?" So Angel's plan is for the ladies to meet her, Tia, and Kay at the final destination. So they all get in the car and they drive up there, and they realize that it's going to be an almost 2-hour drive. And mind you, they have 5 hours until their plane departs. Now, Mrs. Best, I have to ask you this. Would you have gone to the destination that Angel was going to take you to if you realized you only had 5 hours until your flight departs?
I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have gone. I just wouldn't have gone. When it comes to the airport, I don't think that's something that you should be planning activities on. Like on every vacation I've been on, the last day of the trip, I usually don't plan anything. Like even the day before, sometimes if it's a certain hour, you're not planning anything. That was just strange, especially when you running around, driving up in the mountains. If you are going to plan something, a dinner or something in the wilderness, but to expect these women to fish and then hop on a plane is crazy. They could have done the fly fishing the day that they was at Angel's house doing that
Yep.
bullshit with that bald man with that cigarette in his mouth. They could have done that at any other time. So it's weird that she even planned it that way. That was really poor planning.
I'm with Naya on this one. Bravo would have had to make an exception that day and cut the cameras. I'm trying to tell you because I'm
I'm not
not
missing
when
my flight
yeah, and then
for
another thing, I
nobody.
want to be relaxed. I don't want to be sore, walking, and all this getting on no plane. I just don't want to do that. Like they would have had to make an exception for me too.
And I
There was a
understand the comments. Hi, Sydney Dennis. I don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome in. Had Giselle not split the trip, they still wouldn't have made it on time
yep,
because the ladies, they would have left at the time that they left, and Giselle and them didn't even make it. It looked like the GPS wigged out, which GPSs do that when you're in nature. I live in California. We got Muir Woods, we got Yosemite, we have California redwoods, we have Sequoia forest, we have all sorts of natural areas in here. And one thing anybody will tell you, Miss Angel, if you're a resident of Colorado, is that when you go to nature, your GPS be fucking up. You can't trust Google, you can't trust Waze, you can't trust Apple. You just cannot. It's not built to be everywhere. It's just not. So it's crazy that nobody had a map. Nobody had nothing. It's just crazy how she planned the whole situation. But to expect
yeah.
anybody to miss their flights, even if these ladies are TSA pre the clear check, they still could have to wait. I'm just looking like this is bad. This is
This
really
is
bad.
bad. So Angel is on the way there, and she has T and K with her once again because they stayed at her house. And she's saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that we don't know where this destination is. Its coordinates. We all put it in our GPS, and now it's having me go out the way and even get us more lost." And as soon as she said that, I said, "Oh no." I said, Angel, stop driving in that direction and turn your ass around and start over. But Angel didn't. Angel just kept on driving. So the ladies are in their car on the way to the location, and then we get into Stacy, Jazzy, and Wendy's vehicle. And Stacy starts a conversation with Jazzy saying, because they were, kikiing, laughing, talking about the trip. And Stacey goes, Jazzy, I felt a way about when you had gave Sharice your number at the Family Fun event. Now, I had shared with you that Sharice was saying, very crazy and crass things about me. And it was just interesting to me that you gave her your phone number. And I said, Mrs. Best, do you see where Stacey's coming from, or do you think she is reaching?
I am so sorry. I walked away from the camera real quick because I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I got a tinkle. I've been holding it for 2 hours. However, I think Stacy's reaching. Baby, Jazzy is not a friend that you've had for a long time. Jazzy is a friend that you only really have because you both were dumb enough to believe that Mia wanted you at an event, if we remember back to that. Jazzy's also proven to be incredibly messy in front of people, but I feel like Jazzy's been one of Stacy's few allies in that she hasn't attacked Stacy as hard as the other women. So maybe Stacy expected more out of her. But this is what I don't like with Potomac or with what a lot of the Housewives cast are doing. Obviously, some shit happened off camera that we need to know about.
Exactly.
Because
So
it's hard to take sides without that. Because why are you mad at Sharice of all people who Stacy's hardly had any interactions with? Sharice is actually the person who called Chris Samuels in that moment, and it was proven and helped to prove Stacy's innocence. So it's weird that she would be so upset at Jazzy talking to Sharice.
But I don't think it was in that intent, though. I think because I get what you're saying, that was to clear Stacy's conscience, but I don't think Sharice did it with that intention.
I know
think
she
Sharice
didn't, but I'm just saying, like, Stacy has to understand that we got to go off what we see. And I love Stacy. She's a queen. I stand. However, you coming at the wrong people. The energy you coming at Jazzy with, Stacy needs to be coming at Giselle with, Ashley with.
Yep.
And that's the part for me that makes it difficult. Because no shade, Stacy seems to have good discernment. Nobody really checking or taking Jazzy seriously. Let's just call a spade a spade. Jazzy and Ashley, nobody taking them seriously.
Right. And speaking of that, Wendy said, Stacy, if you want that kind of loyalty from a friend, you need to be that same friend to that person and give that exact same loyalty. And Jazzy said, exactly. And speaking of which, my wedding, I heard from the curb that you weren't going to come to my wedding initially until you knew that Wendy and Ashley were coming. And Stacy said, that's not true. And she said that first off, I didn't know Ashley was coming to your wedding. And Wendy was like, Stacey, you're not finna lie in this car right now. You're not finna do that. You don't remember me calling you saying that if you don't come to Jazzy's wedding, you're going to look crazy. You sat up there on that phone with me and we were talking about it. You said that there was things that you had to do. You couldn't move anything around. So you were unfortunately going to have to miss Jazzy's wedding. And Stacey's getting confused. Like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. And Jess's like, well, I just don't appreciate that because you knew the day of my wedding before you started this business venture, so you didn't think to black out that week so you could travel to be there for me. I see how you are, Stacey. I see how you are. So my thought on this is that I understand where Jazzy is coming from. I do. However, I do not believe, and I'm gonna say this very clearly, y'all. I do not believe that Stacey did not want to go to Jazzy's wedding until she found out that Wendy and Ashley were going. I don't believe that at all. I do believe that it is what Stacey said. She had business fixtures, and sometimes when you start a business, you can't just keep moving dates around like that, especially when you're trying to launch it. So I do think that it kind of fell into a terms where Stacey was like, damn, I know this is my friend's wedding, but at the same time, I got to realistically get this business going because I've invested money, I invested time. It is trying to get here. I'm trying to get the product. So I can understand Stacey's position too. Because I don't believe off the strength of it being like, oh, I found out Wendy and Ashley were going, so I knew I needed to be there. I don't think it was that. I think they made it that. I think that Ashley planted that seed. And this is where I get disappointed in Wendy. I feel like Wendy, you knew Ashley was planting that seed and you didn't co-sign it because you knew Jazzy wasn't going to understand that she was saying, oh, my business, my business. You were going to go with the strength that she knew y'all were coming. So she's going to come too. Point blank period. I don't really think that was really a fault of Stacey because at the end of the day, she did go to the wedding. So what the fuck are we mad at? That's how I see it. Mrs. Best, how do you see Jazzy's point of view?
I view it the same. She showed up at the wedding, so why are you picking a fight just to get away from being accountable when Stacey is finally bothered by you? That's what I got from it. Because she only said something because Stacey called her out on something. And if my friend is telling me something bothers them, I'm going to hear it. I'm not going to then take the opportunity to say, well, you remember on this day and this happened and you was acting funny. What was that about since you want to come at me? That's not friendship. So Jazzy is nobody's friend. She's just looking for a moment and a way to be interesting on this show. And it seems like the only way that Jazzy can provide any form of entertainment to anybody on this show is when she's throwing somebody else under the bus and being fucking messy, and that never ages well. So Ashley Darby Part 2 Chocolate Thunder version, relax, bitch. Secondly, I felt like Wendy has Stacey more fucked up than Jazzy in this situation because that is Stacey's friend. Now, we know today that these two are all right. However, you just said yourself, Wendy, that you had to call Stacey and tell her she was crazy to not go to the wedding, and that Stacey's reasons for not going to the wedding that she gave to Wendy aligned with what she gave to Jazzy, aligned with what she gave to Giselle, and aligned with what the fuck she's been saying the whole time, which is that she had something else to do. They are not accepting that. So while, yes, they called Stacey out on a lie in that car conversation, but it wasn't related to Jazzy's wedding per se. The only lie was that she didn't know Ashley was going, but she really didn't know Ashley was going till it was damn near close to the wedding because she was not fucking with Ashley at that time. Regardless, don't nobody care about no side bitch getting her upgrade and getting the ring. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That wedding gave Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg. Y'all rushed it to do it on TV. And we didn't even, we just did not care. So I just want her to stop tripping. Honestly, none of my friends came to my wedding. I don't care. Your wedding is supposed to be for you and your spouse. You're just now getting to know this woman. To have the expectation of someone and to hold them not showing up or wanting to show up to your wedding against them when they did show up and you haven't known the bitch for longer than 2 years is crazy.
Like, it is, because I feel like she's putting an unrealistic expectation, but at the same time, this should be null and void because she did come to the wedding, regardless of her intentions. And that's another thing I'm seeing a lot happening with reality TV and in the world today is that we're more focused on the intent versus the outcome. Because A lot of people could have good and bad intentions leading to the outcome. But the point is, the outcome is she still showed up for you, regardless if you felt it was real or fake, she still was there. So it doesn't matter what her intent could be, whether if it was good or bad, she still showed up. So that to me goes unavoided. Like y'all focus way too much on whether she intended to do something or not intended to do something. She still did it
Whether
regardless.
she did or didn't come to your wedding, Jazzy, let me tell your goofy ass something. When you are 10 years into your marriage, I promise you that the people that you would have invited to your wedding or the people that were at your wedding, not all of them will you still be in contact with. Not all of them will you still be friends with. So worry about the day as it relates to you and your man, not about the people who show up. Please. Because quiet is kept, the wedding is just a way to announce to your friends and loved ones that you are now wed. It's also really more so for the family and stuff than it is for the person, unless you're just shallow as hell and excited for that. But like, she's doing too much with the wedding stuff. And now you're bringing, I wouldn't want any type of negative, messy energy, especially from a bunch of bitches who's divorced coming on my new marriage. But you know, Jazzy just happy to have that ring. So
she really is. Hey, DM Rocks, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you. Naya said, I'll be honest, no one cares. She's married. She's happy. She's delusional. Stacy just lives and they get mad. I promise you that woman can just breathe and they were ready to have a problem with it. So, bottom line, without Stacy, Jazzy would not have been on Real Housewives of Potomac this season, period. And I agree. I agree with that heartily. She may have found her way up in there through probably Wendy or Giselle, but at the same time, it was Stacy who they introduced her back to. So she needed Stacy just as much as she's claiming Stacy need her in today's time, which I want to mention that interview, but we ain't got the time. I got another show to do. So moving on from there, y'all, we go to Giselle, Ashley, and Monique's car. And, you know, they're talking about this theory that Wendy had that with Angel, they feel like if Stacy didn't do it, then there's a potential that Angel could have told Chris Samuels about what Monique said because of his relationship with Bobby. But Monique said, do y'all really think like they are on like phone call terms or texting terms like that? And they were like, probably not. But it was just a theory that Wendy had to maybe clear Stacy. And, you know, and Ashley said, I even asked Chris. And Monique said, when'd you see Chris? She don't know, you know, my friend's birthday party, he was there. He had came over and said hey to the boys or whatever. And I flat out asked him, you know, are you messing with Stacy? And he didn't say nothing. He just drunk his water. And Giselle in her confessionals, because Monique said, I didn't know you didn't tell me that. She goes, I did tell you that. She goes, no, you didn't. You did not tell me that. She goes, oh, I thought I told you that. And then Giselle's confession was like, Ashley, why didn't you tell her that? Like, you told me, and I thought you had been told her that. Y'all, like Kevin Reynolds said, Ashley's lying. I don't bit more. Do y'all really think? Let's be honest here. Let's have an honest conversation. Everybody in the chat, chime in. If Ashley really had that information, you didn't think she would have brought it to the group sooner rather than later? Because all Ashley said, and I know you're going to bring up Nevis, Ashley never said that she met up with Chris Samuels. She just said he's saying this too. She never said that she was the one who had the conversation with him that confirmed that. She just said he had been saying it too. That's all she said. I don't believe Ashley. I'm sorry. I don't believe her at all. I think that Ashley is trying to stir up some more shit. And I feel like y'all at this point, oh, Stacy, y'all check. Every single last one of you need to give Stacy at least 4 episodes worth of checks. Because y'all constantly had this lady's name in your mouth, and I thought that was sad. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that car ride? Do you believe Ashley?
Oh, I don't believe any spawn of Sheila. I don't. You can't trust nobody that come from a woman that wear that wig like that and has ignored dental care for over 20 decades. You just can't. So, I mean, anytime Ashley comes up, that's what I mean. Ashley gets away with a lot on this show. I don't understand why. I feel like when Candace and Karen were here, Ashley would be held more accountable. And this is why Giselle is the weakest lead OG housewife that we could possibly have. Ashley's just getting away with way too much this season. But yeah, somebody that come from a lady that wear a wig like that with a gap tooth, the way Sheila got, don't trust nothing she
Mm-mm-mm.
say. Ashley's credibility, she doesn't have credibility is the funny thing. She doesn't have any form of credibility. Ashley's shady as it relates to who she sleep with, who she marry, how she move, who her friends are. She over here using her family to monetize for a storyline. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of her. Anytime Ashley's name comes up, the cast should automatically just be like, okay, we cool. We ain't even got to argue. We ain't even got to argue.
Absolutely.
Because Ashley's always full of it, but you know.
Right. And that's my point. So we then go over to Angel, Kiana, and Tia. So they thought they had pulled up to the campsite. And all you see is it looked like the Wrong Turn movie. It really did. Like all you saw was Angel in her big old truck going in there. And they said after circling it around, they realized this is not the spot. So Angel says that, for her business, she always, guides people to flag fishing and she takes them to different locations. This particular location she has never quite been to. So she didn't know really how to get there, but she thought because of the spacing that it would be a perfect fit. And then you see her staff on location cooking food. You saw the chef. He had the ribs on the grill. Then he had dropped the meat and it fell in the coals a little bit. And I said, oh, damn, this is not what y'all want to show on TV. The food did still look good, though. I ain't gonna lie. That chef know what he doing. But Angel had to back up. No, this is best shaking her head. But Angel had to back that big old truck up and I don't understand why she just didn't turn the truck around, go to where that white man was, back that shit up, and just drive out.
I don't
Like,
think they were letting them pass. It looked like a very thin road, and I don't think they were letting them pass.
okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it and
They
looking at
do
it in my
that
head.
on the PCB, the Pacific Coast, the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway in California. It's almost open, but there's parts of it you can't take. And when you try to take it, it's somebody sitting in a truck just like that. Usually Park Works, and they will tell you have to back up. I was actually no shade. I was actually impressed with Angel's driving. Okay. Angel is the reason when you go to the DMV and take your driver behind the wheel
Yep.
test that they make you back up in that straight line. That's exactly why. I'll let
Because
her
it was
drive if nothing
pointless.
else.
It was pointless for Kay to have her head out the window, baby. Angel backed that shit up so quick. All you heard was the engine just roar. Angel swerved that shit over, and they're like, "You good? You good?" Angel knew what she was doing. That's why Angel didn't say nothing. Angel was like, "Girl, I know what I'm doing with this big old truck." So Angel goes in a different direction, and the ladies realize as they're still in traffic and in the car that they still have another hour to go. And Giselle's like, "See what this thing is doing? It's recalculating the time due to traffic and where it is. I don't think we're gonna make it because now we only have 3 hours until we have to get out of here." So they then decide, okay, I'm gonna text the other ladies and let them know, hey, we're gonna pull over so we can get Angel on the phone and see what's going on. Then they hungry too, so that's another thing they have to think of. So before I move into the next car, let me read these comments here. Nice. I saw a comment that said, how the hell did production get there and set up and film? And Angel couldn't find any of it because Angel ain't never been there before. Angel gave them, and production, you understand, there's people who are trained to know back roads, wood roads, and everything. They're understanding known coordinates. Coordinates really isn't that hard to learn. It really isn't. You just have to have the key to land in agriculture and know your ponds and lakes. Like once you know that, then you can kind of find them. I don't think Angel really does this in the business. I think she just does the bookkeeping, to be honest with you.
It's stupid though, because you're not gonna be saying your brand that has let to launch his name as you show us the bad job that you would do. And in my opinion, I'm just saying I'm a child of the 90s with parents that used to travel. Okay. If we was in the car and
Mm-hmm.
had to make a trip, do you know what my daddy and my mama used to do? They used to get a fucking map until
Yep.
MapQuest came about. And then they would use MapQuest where you had to print out the instructions and all of that. But I never thought I'd echo what my husband has said, but this is why it's important to learn how to read a map, probably because not everywhere is there going to be cell reception. Not everywhere are you going to be able to have directions, but if it's your company, just as a professional, even if you're not a business owner, because there's managers all over the world that aren't business owners, but as someone who plans, right, it would make sense that you have a backup map or that you have communicated with other people. You got lost and didn't even try to call the chef who was at the location and say, hey, do you mind pinging me your location? There was another way that she could have found the problem solved. Now, I'm literally what some would describe as a professional problem solver for my day job. So when I see an issue, I look at all the different ways that that issue could potentially be rectified. And I was looking at Angel, like at the end of this episode, if you could call the chef and let them know y'all ain't going to show up and make it, then why couldn't you have called the chef and said, hey, you have cell reception, you got LTE, 3G, something, drop your location, drop a ping, send me something. The bitch didn't even try. And it's kind of sad because I wanted to, like, she had a hard season and I thought that maybe, okay, production was aligned with the house. So I was like, I'll give her a pass with everything else because the events she planned from what we had saw prior were okay. It was just the accommodations and stuff. But this is your business. Your name is on it. Your husband's name is on it. There is no fucking excuse if you failed anything for you to have not known how to get to a location that you fish. I don't give a damn if you haven't been there before. You selling it to people. Do better, Black people, please.
Yes, and you're actually echoing. Hi, Dean Jennings. I don't know if I've ever met you on my channel before, but welcome. Hope you're subscribed and thank you for your comments. I do appreciate you so much. If this is Angel's business, she's doing a horrible job selling her services. You can't curate an experience. Exactly. I feel that exact same way. Like that made me look at her like you really ain't at the forefront of your business. I don't know what you do. I don't know if you have people running it for you, but this was a horrible. And
if you're in the background, if you're the boss of any sort, you make sure that the people that you have running it for you are competent and running it appropriately. And Kevin's comment it makes sense too, because how can you bring someone somewhere that you have never been before? And the place that you are bringing them has your name and company all over it. It's unprofessional, uncouth, rude, tacky.
It just is, yeah.
You're so worried about Bobby that you...
Yes, I 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Yes, who wants to have no water and a host who is so lost? Say it, Rose City. I know. I believe you. Naya, printed instructions line for line. Yep. If that fails, yes, read a map. Follow the North Star. Some shit, Angel. Jesus.
North Star. I could not.
That shit is funny. I'm sorry. You just killed me with that, Naya.
Not follow the North.
And that's the thing. I wanted to like her too. I really was trying to advocate for Angel, but she keep fucking up in the most ridiculous ways. Like
she gave us those titties and nevas. The thing of it is, if a bitch don't even understand the proper bra she needs to wear, I can't expect much else from her. And that's just my honest opinion. Don't put your head down. You told me to not watch my mouth. I'm just telling you how I feel.
No, that one took me out too. You was killing me, but I love it. So we move on from there. We go back to Stacy's, Jazzy, and Wendy's vehicle. So after everyone's had a collective moment, Stacy then goes, Jazzy, I understand you being upset about what's going on, and I understand how you may feel about, your wedding, but don't act like we were buddy in France for 2 years when you have secretly recorded me before. Jazzy's like, the fuck are you talking about, Stacy? She goes, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You and I have had hundreds of conversations about the friend group. Don't act like we haven't. Jazzy literally took off them glasses and said, Stacy, are you fucking serious? And Wendy was shaking her head like at first Wendy was like, oh shit, Stacy just went there. And Stacy's like, I don't know what you guys want from me. Like, I don't want. And Wendy goes, the truth, Stacy. We want you to tell the truth. Your friend is hurting. Your friend is upset because you literally were not trying to go to her wedding until me and Ashley being there. Like, when are you going to stop playing this charade and be a real friend? And I said, Wendy, I understand what you are saying, but this is not the forum. This is not the placement for y'all to keep going back to this subject. Now, I will agree, Stacy, I don't know why you pulled that shit out your ass. It seems like you wanted to one-up Jazzy with having issues, because you were losing the pack. Stacey gives me one of the people that whenever you have an issue with them, they try to one up you with an issue, so that way y'all could be equal and voiding the responsibility. But it's like, Stacey, all you had to say was, Jazzy, at the end of the day, I was there. I was one of three of us out of the collective that was there that allowed you to film for your wedding. So please cut the shit. I showed up, regardless of how
I
it
don't think that
happened.
would have helped. I think no matter how Stacey would have responded, there's just a gang up on Stacey this season, especially with how Wendy jumped in on it. Because if you're her friend, you would talk to her about how you felt separate from Jazzy if you see that they're having an issue. If you were her friend, you would try to get Jazzy to see Stacey's perspective the same way that Wendy was trying to get, Stacey to see Jazzy's perspective. I didn't like how Wendy moved in this car ride at all. At the end of the
Mhm.
episode, she did okay, but you can check your friend without the gang up. If I've watched my friend get ganged up on for an entire fucking season, months at this point, I'm not then going to do the same thing and participate in that gang up with my friend in an enclosed space where she can't even escape or walk away for a breath.
Mhm.
So I'm still like, with Jazzy, you kind of expect the stupid shit, but with Wendy, I'm looking at you like you got some nerve. You got some nerve doing that, especially when these women were so hard on you that you had to go and change your body and get new titties called Happy and Ness. So I don't understand why Wendy moved that way, but then again, this lady allegedly got 645 credit cards. So it is what it is. But I didn't like the car gang up at all. Stacey didn't handle it appropriately. But like she says at the end of the episode, when you gang up on somebody for so long, eventually they're gonna stop giving a fuck, start fighting dirty, or start moving differently. And I feel like Stacey's getting a little bit fed up with it, especially based on all the interviews she's doing in real time. But this was whack on
Mhm.
Wendy's side, because Jazzy's always been a pick me and just kind of wherever the wind blows. But Wendy, you were actually alleged and aligned with her as a friend, and now you moving weird. And if Candace was
I
good, you wouldn't be.
I agree 100. That I agree with. I didn't like that at all either from Wendy. Um, but I just felt like Jazzy was just really reaching. Like she was really reaching to have an issue. And to
That's what
me,
she does.
I would have rather her say, I'm selling you out for Ashley and Giselle. Because Ashley knew what the fuck she was doing by planting that seed in the first place. Because that's how this all started. So yeah, I'd much rather her say, look, I took the okey doke like Monique did, and I fell into the Green Eye Monsters trap. So yes. Um, is Wendy trying to align with Giselle and Ashley? I don't think so. Here's the reason why I don't think so. If Wendy was trying to align with Giselle and Ashley, she wouldn't be friends with Stacey. And she wouldn't go up for Stacey as she would. You don't think so?
No, because if that was the case, I mean, all of the ladies, for the most part, have still been kind and had moments where they get along with Stacey or are willing to meet Stacey. I think Wendy is trying to align with Giselle and Ashley, and I think she's been trying for seasons.
On a different accord, I agree with you. Absolutely. For the prior seasons, yes. I do think that there's a part of her, especially her first season, where she was trying to align with them over Monique. I do see that. And then when her and Giselle fell out and then they tried to make peace, I do see what you're saying. But in this instance, and the reason why I don't feel that way is mainly because when they tried to confront her about the Chris Samuels thing, it was only Wendy that had her back against them two. That's why I said I don't quite see that. That's what I'm
Having
saying.
someone's back is not having their back if the next moment that you say, no, y'all don't think so, that she's laughing in the same instant. So I still feel the same way about Wendy trying to align with Giselle and Ashley. There's a noticeably different, we can notice a difference in how Wendy is interacting with the group now that Candace is gone, if we're being entirely honest. And I feel like this whole season she's made more efforts to align with Giselle and Ashley and be close to them when as quiet as it's kept, the way that they were and the things that were alleged in previous seasons. Wendy shouldn't even be this friendly with them. Other reason I feel like she's aligning with them is because she can align with them and also still be friends with Stacey, because Stacey's made it very clear the whole time that her and Wendy are friends and that she felt like her and Wendy had the real friendship. But whenever Giselle and Ashley are around with Stacey there, Wendy is participating in the pileup if you're going to be my friend and align with me, then that means that you're aligned with me when I'm around, when I'm not around, in front of a group, individually. And Wendy has moved differently depending on who's around, especially as it relates to Stacey. And I'm tired of it because Wendy should know better than anybody, especially how much Giselle and Ashley gave her trouble. She should know better than anybody what it feels like. So I don't like that about Wendy, but I think it all goes to like other little things Wendy's done to show that she just wants to fit in, like changing her nose, her face, her titties, her ass, her clothes, buying shit she can't afford. Like Wendy, Naya just said it perfectly for me. She's very performative. Just because somebody have 4 degrees don't mean you can't be insecure and feel like you don't have enough. So that's how I feel about her. But she's definitely aligning with them. If you watch her this season compared to the last, it's a totally different Wendy, and it's almost cringeworthy. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I want to say hey to Shani. You're not late. We still got a whole lot to go, but stay safe out there, please, please, please. Wendy don't give Ashley and Giselle no dust for me. They treated her as other for years. She shouldn't be okay with them at all. I can see that. I can see that. And I do agree with this. She is performative. Absolutely. Can I say the pizza and tacos look good where they were eating at the gas station? Now, to be fair, that wasn't the gas station. That was the food truck outside of the gas station. Because gas station food normally don't look like that. But the truck that they have outside of the gas stations, that's where the food look good at. And I do agree. But yes, I do agree with that. Absolutely. Wendy's new face don't recognize O'Shea. Damn. That insurance fraud brought her a new attitude. Yeah. Yeah. The line was crazy. It was. That must be some good ass food because I'm telling you, that line was long.
Colorado has good food. I remember my old job would send us there. They got good food up in Denver. I don't know what the hell is going on up there. The elevation, you do feel it, but the food is good everywhere.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to. I can't do the altitude because I cramp up like crazy. There's some places in Arizona I can't go to because I'll get stomach cramps like crazy. So yeah. But moving forward from there, y'all, they sit down, they're eating their food, and they're confused because they have not heard from Angel. They don't know what's going on. And Ash's like, okay, well, let's call them. And so they call Angel on the phone. Angel is still driving, trying to get to this location. And they're like, why aren't you there? Like, why aren't you at the location? And Angel tells them, well, I'll be there shortly. What y'all can do is y'all can go ahead and get there and I'll meet you guys there. And they say, Angel, how are we supposed to go there without you? Like, how are we supposed to do that? And they ask Angel, well, how far are you? I think Angel said she was, 2 or 3 hours away from the location. And they were said 2 or 3 hours. Oh no, like, no, Angel, we're good. No, we're not going to do this. And they're like, we're just going to go ahead and end the trip here because there's no point in us driving all that way. And then the airport is 2 hours away. So then we only have time to really just to eat. So there's no point, Angel. This is a wash, but thank you. So when they hang up the phone from Angel in the car driver, she just cries. She goes, listen, that was never my intention.
No, fuck her tears. Fuck those tears. Fuck those goddamn funky ass tears, bitch. What would Bobby think? I have to check with Bobby. Maybe if you was focused on something other than your goddamn husband, you would have known to check on. She didn't check on her guests to make sure they were good at the accommodations. She left and didn't send no text like, hey, yo, it's late. We not coming back tonight. She didn't do nothing right. And then you want to cry after they have to tell you that they're just going to go to the airport. How you know that a flight is happening within a 2 hour and 44-minute time? That's not the time they have to be at the airport. That's the time the motherfucking plane is in the sky. Take off. So if the plane is in the sky within 2 hours and 44 minutes, one would say that they would need to be at the airport at least within the hour.
Yep.
At the very least. If they're checking a bag, and y'all know how them lines are when you're checking a bag, it could take even longer. So I'm looking and I'm like, why would you not be the person to call and say, hey, I'm 2, maybe 3 hours away. I sincerely apologize, but I'm not going to make it. Please head to the airport. Why the fuck did they have to tell you that? So it's like, well, some of the stuff that Angel did, I will give her a pass because I think we should give Housewives in their first season a pass. But then other shit that she did, like if you take away anything production was involved with, like the accommodations, right? And just look at her planning, it was terrible. It was terrible. From her husband's friends being rude, blowing that cigar smoke in their face, to the events ending at the time that most kids would go to bed. I mean, she ended her event when they came to her house earlier than Moesha used to come on UPN in the 90s. I couldn't believe it. It didn't make any sense. Like, everything Angel did was wrong. And then you got Tia and Kay hostage with you. Kay looked like she gonna cry at any moment from the elevation. And now she gonna miss her flight. So it's like, for her to cry, it's like, why the fuck are you crying? Why are you crying, Angel?
She said that. She goes, I try to be intentional with everyone's time and feelings, and I try to just make this a nice
didn't.
trip.
If you were intentional with everybody's time and feelings, then not any type of fishing activity would have been planned on the day they had to leave. Y'all bitches should have had brunch at the Four Seasons and done nothing else after that.
Exactly. That I do agree with.
To do. It didn't make sense. Angel get on my nerves. She want to cry. Talk about a strong woman. Bitch, be stronger. Stop crying.
Are they getting beef from the farm next door? Shana, you crazy. Hey, Keywan. You guys, please subscribe to Keywan's channel. Her information is in my description box, or you can just click on her picture here, and it will take you right to her channel.
Look at Naya's comments.
They should be, the name of the episode should be Lost to Confusion. How's she go cry? I was irritated with that too. It's like, don't start crying now, because at the end of the day, like Mrs. Best said, we try to have grace for you because this is your first season. But at the same time, I'm like, no, fuck that grace, because this is her business. So at the end of the day, you should know how to
online, and is now getting further roasted. Talk about, my business does not reflect the experiences on the show. Bitch, every other word you said, Wonderland this, Wonderland that, Wonderland this. I was mad to hear the motherfucking business ain't even launched yet. It's still to come. It's coming soon.
Oh, it hasn't launched yet?
No. That you cannot go and buy her services yet.
Oh, Angel. Oh, Angel.
I'm like, why would you do this to yourself as a
Angel
black
act like, wait a minute, no. Angel online today talking about this business has been booming for years and all this. You mean telling me this business ain't even launched yet?
No, she's been talking about how this is their new business venture, though, the entire season. She has made that very clear. But this is not something that's fully launched yet. It's not.
Nice. She wasted a whole lot of gas in that big ass truck. I could tell them trucks. That's $200.
That's a V8 or V12.
Yes. She wasted at least a good $200 on gas for a full tank, and she just wasting it, going in the wrong direction every 2 seconds.
And in states like Colorado and California, you better trust and believe.
Mm-hmm. I bet you anything T and K were mad bored at Angel's house, because what the hell were they gonna do? Play with her kids and get ignored by Bobby? Oh, Shani. Dang.
That's the friend that will leave her friends be and go in the room and just be with her man.
I don't know what that's like, because every time I've went to like a friend or family member, they stay with me the entire time. Hell, I be feeling bad for their husbands because they never around, but they in the room with us. Like, it was crazy. I like, so I don't know what that's like at all. Angel left them for dead. She really did. That's sad. This has officially been one of the shittiest cash trips. How could Potomac stoop lower?
This is one of the worst, I think, of all of the
franchise. Yeah,
I've never seen anything worse.
You know who gets a trip right every single time? Is Salt Lake City. They've always gotten a trip right for me.
I feel like, in terms of entertainment, yes. In terms of activity and locations, no. So I wouldn't give them a full, because Salt Lake City don't really go nowhere too interesting or that regular people couldn't afford to go. And I kind of want to see that when Housewives is presented to be like more luxurious living. And the activities are typically boring as hell. They just act a fool. And Salt Lake City is now getting stale. It's the same thing for 4 seasons in a row. Fix it, Jesus.
So as they hang up with Angel, the ladies, Giselle asked, so what happened in y'all car? What was the conversation? And I said, why, Giselle? Because production told you to do this? Why you need to know what happened? So Jazzy gives them the story of what happened, and she lets them know about, Tia, and she goes, and Giselle's like, ooh, yeah, I know that's right, Jazzy. I know. And I said, see, Stacey, this is where you attempt to go to jail by just backhanding the fuck out of her, making her fall out of her seat. but I know we can't impose violence like that. I just know we can't do that. But it just would have felt good to see. So, and Stacey don't act like you wasn't a trollop that was trying to get in good gracious of everybody for the spot on the show. And I said, "Oh, Stacey, get her ass." And yes, you definitely got her.
Have you been
And
watch About the View, Stacey? Because I sure did call Jazzy a trollop.
she knows she watched. Stacey, you know you watch it. Go on up here, girl.
Something. Stacey's very aware right now of their reception, and I do believe, because we have had some of these reality stars come in our lives and stuff, I do believe she may have seen that, because when I tell you that was the best thing she could have told Jazzy, because she just give you a little chihuahua like yapping ass trollop.
She does. To me, it feels like, because this is what I'm gonna say, because allegedly Jazzy fumbled the bag and was offered a flute on the show. And somehow, because Kay didn't respond to the email, or something was going on with Kay where she didn't respond or do something. So they then, since Kay said, she'll come back, they then took it from Jazzy and gave it to Kay. That's what I heard the story was allegedly. But yeah, she was supposed to have a flute. So I guess Jazzy trying to get that flute back. But with Karen coming back, I don't know how that's going to work. I just don't know how that's going to work at all. So
Karen coming back is a concern. I think that there's a big age gap with most of this cast. I mean, you would have Giselle, Karen, and Tia kind of in the same age range, and Stacey.
Stacey's
one of those people who could go in either direction. But
yeah,
I don't know, Karen and Jazzy. I just feel like there's too much of an age gap.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed with Karen. I don't want her back.
So Wendy then goes off on Stacey again, and this is where I see Mrs. Best's point right here in this conversation, because I felt like Wendy was doing the absolute fucking most by going off on Stacey, and Stacey's like, "Well, damn, can I even get a word?" So Stacey gets pissed and she walks off. And when Stacey walks up, they're like, "Where's she going? We're in the middle of nowhere." Stacey went and got her shit, walked up to the gas station little tables, and sat there and was going to get her own Uber and said, "Fuck all the rest of them." So Wendy feels bad. So Wendy and Ashley's messy ass go up to Stacey, and she was like, "I'm done. I cannot do this no more. I'm done." And Wendy's like, "Stacey, I have your back. Even when nobody likes you in this group, I'm the one that stood up for you. I am your friend. Like, I can't believe y'all that." And Stacey said, "Were you?" And when she said, "Were you?" Wendy got mad. She goes, "Okay, fuck it then. I'm done. I can't believe this," and walked off. And so the girls come and they say Stacey's mad. She's going to get a ride on her own, go to the airport by herself. And Wendy's like, "I feel bad because that's my friend. Like, I just feel bad, but she's just not getting it." So Wendy goes up there by herself this time. And she says, "Stacey, look, like, I'm trying to reason with you." And Stacey said, "I'm tired of being ganged up on out of this girl group. I've been getting ganged up on for months behind these ladies. And the last thing I need you to do as my friend is to join in on the bamboozling of me and making it seem like, Jazzy had a point, because you took Jazzy's side on this." And Wendy said, "Yes, but Jazzy was in the right. And as your friend, I should be able to tell you when you're wrong." Now, if this were a regular circumstance of a fight and Stacey did not have pretty much borderline bullying on this show, Wendy would be correct. But I actually agree with Stacey, because she has been getting borderline bullied this entire time from the moment that she walked on stage and was signed on for her second season. They started with her breath and making a joke about that. Then it was this Chris Samuel thing, of whether or not she's dating him. Then it was her husband. Y'all, they have been ragging on Stacey this entire time. So I got where Stacey was coming from, but they were able to hug it out and kind of move forward from there. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Wendy's approach to Stacey now that Stacey didn't had her rightful walk away from the group? Because I would have too.
I told y'all how I felt, and it's going to stay the same. Wendy was wrong. This is not a friend. If someone is your friend, they're going to check you privately, not loud and publicly, around the bunch of women that Wendy herself screamed do not like Stacey. You don't do that. You don't. You just don't. Now, unless your friend's saying something that's like just morally and ethically wrong or that could get them canceled, to me, you don't need to check them in front of nobody. You just don't. Wendy's a follower. Wendy's a pick me. Wendy is the example of why everyone should not have automatic admiration for someone who has a degree or multiple degrees or is a doctorate. Just because someone has a career and profession or education that's considered astute or respected does not mean that them themselves should be respected. And Wendy's the example of that. Quiet as it's kept, Wendy, you will want to align with Stacey because we don't like the rest of you hoes so bad that eventually Bravo's going to come to a point like they did with RHOA and they're going to have to make some changes. So we would want to see you stick beside the people who are actually sticking beside you because, Wendy, these bitches don't like you either. Don't forget. They don't like you either.
Wendy was a disappointment.
Wendy's always, in my opinion, in some ways, like Wendy will clock stuff. The problem is when Wendy gets clocked, she walks away. And that's what she did in this situation with Stacey. Because when Stacey's like, are you a friend? Wendy walked away because if Stacey would have went into it and explained why she feels that way and questions if Wendy is a friend, then Wendy would not have answered to it because Wendy does what Karen does, what Giselle does, what they all do, and runs the fuck away when she's held accountable. She always does that, even prior to all of her charges and all that other stuff. I don't like it, but Stacey also shows this is why you treat people the way that you want to be treated, because you could pile up on somebody over and over. And I knew Stacey was fed up when in that car to Jazzy, she looked at her. When Stacey's finger get to going, she is irritated with you. So I think she's fed up. I don't blame her for getting an Uber and going down the mountain in peace. But, you know, for me, I'm kind of a weird bitch. Like, if you would have moved like that with me, with Wendy, I would have made peace with you, but I wouldn't have called you again, texted you again. You would have had to hit me up and it would have been very short. I hope Stacey clocks it. I know her and Wendy are cool today, but honestly, the stit that Wendy asked Stacey, the loyalty that you expect you need to reciprocate, Stacey, take that and apply it to your friendship with Wendy, because the loyalty that you give her, she needs to reciprocate.
Absolutely. 100%. That is the biggest word you could have said, because I don't think that Wendy does reciprocate that to Stacey. And the example we have is a situation with Jazzy. And as I told y'all, Stacey went to the fucking wedding. She went to the wedding. So however, what happened in the in-between and the befores does not fucking matter anymore.
I need y'all to stop acting like your fucking weddings matter to people outside of you too, when the divorce rate is as high as the fuck it is in this country. Yeah. Y'all Americans, we don't get to do that to each other. Because half of the time, y'all motherfuckers be tripping out over people showing up to a wedding just for you bitches to end up divorced within under 10 years. That's a waste of everybody's time and your own money.
It sure is. Yeah, so they pretty much give updates on everybody. I'm not going to go through the updates because at the end of the day, this was the season finale for the ladies, but it's not the season finale of the show because we have a Karen segment, which I'm not going to go over Karen's scene. She was busted up looking with some braids in her hair, going home and crying and tee-heed and everything else like that. I don't care.
I didn't think Karen looked too bad. I thought she actually looked good. I was expecting something worse without all the makeup and stuff. But all I learned is Karen ain't got no edges, but she still has a pretty face. I will say I wish Karen well, but Bravo, I see what Bravo's doing. They're smart to give Karen her own special because they did the same thing for Teresa Giudice. They did it for Luann de Lesseps. They did it for Leah on Housewives of New York. And they've done this for a lot of housewives who have gotten into trouble, right? They said no to Jen Shaw. Her crimes were egregious and truly crimes that she committed. Honestly, Karen, in my opinion, should have gotten the Jen Shaw treatment because she did something just as bad. But I feel like Bravo is only bringing her back because they know if they don't, that the Black audience is going to be like, but Teresa and this person and that person, which we will. So I feel like the network is damned if they do it, damned if they don't. But at some point, we have to be accountable. Karen was not giving us shit when she was on this show, but funny one-liners here and there and confessional reads. Why is she back? Why is she getting her own special when she did not do any work this season?
Exactly. Now, I do have a question for you. Do you think that it's going to be half Karen and then half Eddie and Wendy on this? Do you think they're going to pick back up on that story?
I feel like they're going to wait to go more in depth with Eddie and Wendy. I don't know why. Their case seems like it's moving fast, but cases like this can really end up taking off quickly, but then kind of slowing out once they get to the point of jury and all that stuff. So I don't know. I feel like they'll discuss Wendy and Eddie a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna like go into as much detail, which is smart because Eddie and Wendy can't really say anything. They just can't. Karen's case is done with, but the way she behaved at the last reunion, trying to act like she doesn't have an alcohol problem, being glammed up on her bed and all of that, like Karen can go straight to hell. Her and her bottle. She just can. I don't trust Karen until I see a 1-year chip.
So for me, not a 1-year chip. So for me, I agree. I agree with that. I feel like they're just overrating Karen at this point. But to answer Keywan's question, was Jazzy in the right? No, Jazzy was not in the right. Jazzy actually was very much delusional and in the wrong. And she did an interview with another YouTuber, and it's on YouTube. I'm not going to post the link because I don't care. Saying that Stacey's sole purpose is that she didn't have a general storyline, and that her storyline was beating up on Jazzy the entire time.
That's not even part of her personality. Let me tell you something, Jazzy, you raggedy, scruffy, trollop ass bitch. You only relevant because somebody saw you on an airplane and thought you was cute, ho. I ain't forgot about what your salary would be without that man, and we ain't forgot how you got that man. You coming for YouTubers, you threw your black designer under the bus because your dress was ugly. You doing the absolute most, and you not even a full-time cast member on this show, bitch. You're in contract. You don't have a full offer. So I don't understand why this woman is doing interviews, telling stories, talking shit, getting mad at the audience. Why the fuck you come on TV, and why are you so desperate to be relevant just to be upset at our opinions of you? So I want Jazzy to figure out herself and figure out what she's doing, because I'm not coming back up here next season, y'all, and acknowledging this woman again. I tried to give her a shot too, and that's what's making me mad. I tried to give this lady a shot.
Exactly. When did she do this? That's what she said in the interview. So, right, she don't even go here. So yeah, that's why I kept that up, because Jazzy got people fucked up, and this was stupid to bring up on TV. This was really stupid. To me, Jazzy, I don't know what you think this is going to be next season. If half of these women don't be here, because I know they're gonna keep a spot open for Karen, which means somebody got to go, and I feel like it's gonna be Angel or Tia. It's gonna be one of the new girls, because I feel like
Angel will go. I really don't. Here's the thing. Well, she might. The only reason I'm kind of in between, but if she didn't make the comments about certain stuff with production and the show, fine. But I don't know that I feel like Angel would go, because she just bought that $2 million house in Potomac, and that would be a great redemption story for next season. Tia, she's kind of forgettable. No shade to Tia. She's kind of forgettable and not that interesting, and she didn't handle being handled by Stacey well at all. And I'm like, if you can't handle Stacey or the little girls, I don't know what you can handle, Tia. And then she's not cool with Giselle. So I don't know why. I feel like it could be Tia or maybe Wendy to go, just because of Wendy's situation.
Wendy ain't going. Trust me, they finna start filming next week. Wendy not going nowhere. They gonna get this case the same way they got Karen's ass. Yes, they gonna start filming. If it's not next week, it's the week after next. They're gonna start filming again real soon.
They probably will film again. But yeah, if that's the case, then I definitely feel like Tia will be the person that could not return if Karen returns, or they'll leave the cast the same, add Karen back, and maybe just get rid of Jazzy.
That's too many women, though. When you think
remember Housewives of Beverly Hills at one point had hella housewives. So
did they ever?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, well, actually, you're right, because on the season with NECA, they had 8 of them. So
yeah, Housewives in general, there's been lots of franchises that have had multiple housewives, and honestly, I think limiting it to like 6 or 7 women, sometimes I feel like that's not enough, because you're putting pressure on a smaller amount of women to give us these big storylines. And if we want reality TV, not everybody's going to have crazy drama all the time. And then the more women you put, the more chaos you could get, which could provide entertainment. But I definitely feel like Tia can go. It's not that I dislike Tia. I don't really have anything bad to say about Tia, but Tia's boring. The only thing I remember about her is her lisp, her lavender husband, and her fake royalty.
Ooh, I wonder if that's going to be addressed at the reunion. I can't wait.
They're not
But
going to.
we'll
It's a cultural issue for Andy, and you know Andy don't do well with black things.
All right. But that was pretty much Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all. I will do Karen's special next week. I'm gonna tell you like right now, I'm not finna listen. I'm not finna deal with Karen in this crying. I'm not finna deal with Karen in this moping. I'm not finna do Karen. I want to hear responsibility. I need, and like Mrs. Best said here, they do. They need to offer her a reverb contract that says, we'll give you what you made first season and we'll see how you do with the fans' reception. I think that that's only fair.
Or be good, be a good HR, NBC Universal and Bravo, Evolution Media,
And not bring her back.
And no, not just not bring her back. In California, in Hollywood, you do something like what Karen did. You can't just come back. They're going to see to it that you are in some type of treatment, seeing a therapist. Do something. Bravo's just like, let's give you a special and a check. I want to see Bravo do something responsible. Say, if you want to come back at full capacity, this is what you need to do instead of just an interview. I need more.
100% agree. But that's it, y'all. I'm late to Married to Medicine. I'm finna get over there now. So you guys, thank you guys for being here once again. We appreciate you. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, please subscribe to Keywan J. Please subscribe to Shana_MCD. Please subscribe to me and Mrs. Best's collab channel, Watch Your Best Friends. That's best spelled with a 3. And we are going to go ahead and now talk about Married to Medicine. Thank you guys once again, and I'll see you guys there. Bye-bye now.